You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest band in the world, Kiss. And these are my top 5 Kiss albums of all time. I am not going to be including compilation albums or live albums in this list. This is just going to be studio albums by Kiss, and it's my top 5. If you agree, if you disagree, do me a favor, go down below in the comments section and have a healthy debate with me. No one's going to judge you. I hope no one judges me. These are all opinions. We can all get along. We are all fans of the band. So if you like what I have to say, if you don't like what I have to say, go down below in the comments section and get into a debate with me. Also, if you like my videos, if you don't like my videos, whatever, but hopefully you'll like them, go down, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell, because sometimes the subscribe button just doesn't work. The first album on my list is my number 5 album, and this album came out in 1979 and was their 7th studio album. What album is that? It is Dynasty. Now, one of the greatest things about this album is it may not be an album that, in my opinion, has some of my favorite Kiss songs of all time on it, but rating on the school grade letter system, this album front to back is all at least B songs. That's the great thing about this album. It's listenability. You could put this album on and listen to it, and front to back, it's just enjoyable. Between Ace's 2000 Man cover, the driving guitar on X-Ray Eyes, Dirty Livin', and of course, the disco track Sure Know Something and I Was Made for Loving You. I even enjoy those songs. Dynasty is a great album. The only thing that is kind of a bummer on it is that Peter Criss does not play on any songs except for Dirty Livin'. It's their studio drummer Anton Fig who plays on this album, but he does a great job. So either way, number 5, Dynasty. Before I get to my number 4, I do want to mention something. One thing about Dynasty, and this has nothing to do with the album, but something about Dynasty that I absolutely love were these. The tour costumes, especially Ace's spaceman outfit with the broken mirror gimmick going on. I think these are probably their best tour costumes of all time, and that's just another thing that makes me like Dynasty, but had nothing to do with my actual grading of the album. But my number 4 is their 6th studio album. This came out in 1977, right before Dynasty, and this was, I believe, the last Kiss album to have all the original members playing on all or most of the tracks. It's 1977's Love Gun, and between 1975 1977, somewhere in that, Kiss was at the top of their game. There is nothing bad you could say about the Love Gun album. Between Christine 16, Ace's first ever vocals on Shock Me, Love Gun, I Stole Your Love, and the opening track. I mean, what a hard-hitting... It kicks off the album. I think it's my favorite opening track of any Kiss album that they ever released, I Stole Your Love. It's just outstanding, just kicks in with the so good. That's why Love Gun is my number 4 Kiss album of all time. My number 3 Kiss album of all time is their debut album that came out in 1974 and is entitled simply Kiss. The greatest thing about this album is that it's a greatest hits album of Kiss. When you look at Kiss greatest album compilation releases, greatest songs release, you're going to find so many songs off this 1974 release. Strutter, Nothing to Lose, Firehouse, Cold Gin, Deuce, Black Diamond. It's basically, for their first album, a greatest hits album. Now, I understand how this could happen because it was their first album when they were signed to Casablanca Records, which I believe was who they signed with first and carried on for a while. They probably had 30 songs in their catalog, and they got to pick and choose all the best songs, and that's why I think this 1974 release is so good. Number 3 Kiss album of all time, simply entitled Kiss. We are getting close to that number 1, but first we have to talk about the album that came in at number 2. It was their 10th studio album, and it came out in 1982, and this is I think the only album on my list that doesn't have, or front to have, all the original members. This was Eric Carr's coming out. I mean, he did work on previous albums. He was unhappy with the work on Elder because it just wasn't the music that he wanted to put out there when he joined Kiss. But my number 2 album, Creatures of the Night, is where Eric Carr got to bring out those booming drums he became known for. It's such an outstanding album, arena rock at its finest, hard-hitting songs, probably one of the most metal albums that Kiss ever put out. It's not only the last album that they put out in makeup, as you can see, before the reunion in 1996, but also, this is the album cover that was released. This is what the album cover should have looked like. And you'll notice Vinnie Vincent there, he played guitar on most of the tracks on this. Ace Frehley, I don't think, played at all on the album, although he did tour with them when they went on tour to promote Creatures of the Night. But, I mean, the Creatures of the Night, Rock and Roll Hell, I Love It Loud, War Machine. I mean, this album is outstanding. It's fun to listen to. And like I said, it's Eric Carr's coming out. Vinnie Vincent shreds the hell out of a lot of these songs. And there's nothing more I can say about Creatures of the Night. It's my number 2 favorite Kiss album of all time. And it's outstanding. Now, before we get to our number 1 Kiss album of all time, I do want to give you 2 honorable mentions that I was debating with when putting this list together. And those include Hotter Than Hell, which includes probably my favorite Kiss song of all time, which is Parasite, and also Revenge, which is another hard-hitting album like Creatures of the Night. Revenge is the first album, I believe, with Eric Singer on drums, and it is the last album with anything involving Eric Carr, because I know he did background vocals for God Gave Rock and Roll to You, which every time I listen to that song and I hear those vocals, it really touches me as a Kiss fan. And there is a great documentary, I believe it's called Tales of the Fox or Tale of the Fox on YouTube about Eric Carr, and I suggest you go and check those out. But Hotter Than Hell and Revenge came close to cracking this list, so that's about it. But let me get into it. Here we go. My number 1 Kiss album of all time should not be a surprise. It is an album that defines Kiss, and it's their 4th studio album, came out in 1976, and it's Destroyer. This album is just, when you look in the dictionary under Kiss, this is the album that should appear, in my opinion. Detroit Rock City, King of the Nighttime World, God of Thunder, Shout It Out Loud, and their huge monster hit, Beth. I mean, this album just takes Kiss to a whole new level after their first 3 albums. It really became a huge mainstream hit. I believe it came out right after Alive, which was their first, real big album. And this is just Kiss being Kiss. Not only was it in Rolling Stone's top 500 albums of all time, but it also has gone 2 times platinum, so that just speaks for itself. So my number 1 Kiss album of all time is Destroyer. All right, everybody. A great list. I hope you enjoyed. I want you to debate me in the comments section. I want to hear your opinions. So please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, continue enjoying the Midnight Mike Show, and I will continue to try to put out videos as much as I can. But I really wanted to get this one out. Kiss is one of my favorite bands of all time. I own pretty much their entire catalog. There's a few that I just haven't bothered because I've listened to them and I haven't been that impressed. But that's the difference between a mark who just blindly loves everything someone does and a fan. I am a fan of Kiss, a big fan of Kiss. So lastly, Dynasty, Love Gun, Kiss, Creatures of the Night, Destroyer. I can't wait to see you next time.